Good evening, dear students. Before going to solving the regular problems of mathematics, let us first understand what is mathematics, what are the area where we have to focus. So we will cover the mathematics for class 10th, and so regarding mathematics, we shall understand that it is not just solving the numericals, or it is not only calculation. Rather, very important is to understand the concepts. So that's why we can write like this: mathematics is not only about the calculation or aptitude, but what is more important is to understand the principles, rules, theorems, then apply them conceptually to get answer or result. Though calculation is integral part of any mathematical problem, but this calculation is meaningful only if applied along with the appropriate rules, which are mostly presented in form of formulae. So that's why questions can be framed in various ways, and it could be infinite in number, but concepts are quite limited. So we have to focus over the concepts. Therefore, mathematics is a skill. It cannot be rote, or the questions or problems cannot be remembered to get good marks. So for having good knowledge of mathematics, we have to learn this skill. There are certain very basic things where we have to focus for having sound knowledge of mathematics. The very first is you must know about the number system, how they are converted from one form to another. You must know to play with the number, how to operate these numbers. The very basic rule that you have learned in your earlier classes is BODMAS rule. So this BODMAS rule, you must apply this with various other number forms like decimal and fraction. You must be able to solve for the variable for various degrees and various number of variable. This we will learn in this class. Say 2 variable or 2 degree equation or 3 degree equation, and these basic mathematics are useful in other branches of mathematics like your vector algebra, geometry, trigonometry, statistics, probability, calculus, etc. Now, what are the reference we will consider, or the sources? So our focus is toward the board examination, and in parallel we will consider our preparation for NTSC. So we will refer these sources: the textbook published by NCERT, other book are Exemplar Problem and Lab Manual published by same publisher. The other sources are CBSE previous year question papers and questions which are asked in AECS examination. It may be in PT or CT, and few of the questions are selected from the NTSC examination. They are MCQs. Our approach will be to systematically arrange all these topics and these materials so that we can understand it easily and we can practice more and more. So for class 10th, the mathematics course is like this. The very first chapter is your real number, which is very basic, and 14 other chapters. So total we have to cover the 15 chapters. We will consider each and every chapter in very detail by solving large number of questions and doing a lot of. So let us now come to the class content. So chapter 1 is our real number. We will start with the very basics of this real number or the number system. What we have to consider is the number system. introduction to number system, means we must have the basic ideas that we have learned in our previous classes, like what is composite number, prime number, twin prime number, co-prime number, even, odd, factor, multiplier, how they are identified. In all this, knowing the concept of checking divisibility is very important. Then we have to learn about rational number and their decimal expansion. Here we have to find the place of termination if it is terminating decimal, and the other topic is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. It is very important topic. Another one is irrational number and Euclid division lemma and Euclid division algorithm. So let us revise our knowledge related to number system. So the number or number system can be classified in following diagram. See, the very first is our classification of number. So number can be broadly classified into two. First one is real number, another one is called non-real number. This non-real number are those number which we are not facing in our daily life, and real number are the number which are used in our daily life. It can be represented on a number line, and this real number includes rational number as well as irrational number. Now this rational number includes various kind of number. It may be your natural number. Natural number are those number which are used for counting purposes. It always starts from 1, 2, 3, 4 going up to infinity. Next is whole number. Whole number is set of real number including 0. Then there is integer. If you add negative of this natural number with the whole number, you will get a new set of number called integers. So that's why these integers are further classified into negative integer or 0 or positive integer. Then this natural number, whole number, integer, there is another category called fraction and decimal. This fraction and decimal of rational numbers are interconvertible. But keep in mind, for irrational number, the decimal forms cannot be converted into their fractional form. That makes difference of decimal representation of rational number and irrational number. So decimal of rational number can be classified into two. One is called terminating decimal, which have fixed number of digits after the decimal. Another is called non-terminating with repeating or non-terminating recurring decimals. You must keep in mind. So here it is the repeating, means after the decimal the digit or the set of digit must repeat itself, like it is minus 1.232323. Other example, minus 2.131313, continue. So here 13 is continuously repeated. So in short we can write it like this, minus 2.13 bar. The bar is over those digits or set of digits which are repeated. But keep in mind, for irrational number, the digits after decimal is neither terminating nor recurring. Means they will continue to increase. It cannot be completed in our notebook. It will go beyond your all the possible papers you use to write it. So that's why just few set of strings are written and a dot 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 is placed after it. Example, say 0.1011001100111000 continue like this. Means here 1 is continuously increasing and 0 is also continuously increasing. Other example, 6.23 223 223 22223 so on. The other irrational number are imperfect squares like root 2. If you want to take the decimal form, it will never be terminating, though we are approximately taking this as 1.41 or 1.42. So any imperfect root like root 2, root 5, root 7 or cube root of 12 or 3 plus root 6, all these are irrational. The third category of irrational number is certain special characteristic like pi, exponent e. Keep in mind this pi, for convenience we are taking the value as 3.14, but in a strict sense it is not terminating. In similar way, for e we are taking 2.7, but it is also not terminating. Now again coming back to the rational number. So we have learned the natural number. Now natural number can further be classified into composite and prime number. Keep in mind here the number 1 is showing slightly different behavior if we classify for the set of prime and composite. So that's why I have kept this one separately. Then composite are those natural number which have more than 2 factors. Means in addition to 1 and the number itself, it will be divisible by some other number also. Another one is prime. You are already knowing prime is the number which have only 2 factors. The first is 1 and the other one is the number itself. Means it is divisible by 2 numbers only. One is itself and another is 1. Also you are knowing 1 is able to divide all the numbers, or 1 is factor of all the numbers. The other category is co-prime. This co-prime is also called as a relative prime. Keep in mind here this relative prime is always for a set of numbers, maybe for the 2 or more than 2 numbers what we want to compare. So if the 2 numbers do not have any common factor, then they are co-prime. Example, if we consider 8 and 9, here 8 and 9 do not have common factor, so they are relatively prime to each other. If we consider 4 and 15, they are also relatively prime, as they are co-prime. So note that for co-prime or relative prime, the number need not be prime number, or the pair number need not be prime number. There is another category of prime number called twin prime. Here the 2 prime number which differs by 2, means 2 successive prime numbers, if they have a difference of 2, then they are twin prime. Example, 3 5, 5 7, 11 13, 17 19. Other could be 29 31, so on. So this is what the number system. in this, again we have to focus about the real number. This real number includes both rational and irrational number. So we have to learn about the rational and irrational number, and in this rational number, the various categories are very basic thing, because this term will be used again and again throughout this chapter. So now let us come to definition of real number. What is real number? So real number includes both rational and irrational. Means rational and irrational numbers together are called real number. Means it could be integer, it could be decimal, it could be fraction, it could be perfect root, or it could be imperfect root, it could be terminating decimal, it could be non-terminating, and even non-terminating, then it could be recurring or it may not be recurring. All these are falling in category of real number. Now this real number, this set can be divided into rational and irrational. Keep few things in mind. Let us consider root 4. The value of root 4 is what? 2. But if I ask to you, what is the value of under root of minus 4? Then your answer should not be 2 or minus 2. Because here minus is inside the root and this minus cannot be taken out. Therefore, this minus 1 remain inside and it gives an imaginary kind of number, which are used only for simplification of mathematics, but it cannot be used in our real life or in real sense, or cannot be realized or cannot be represented on real number. That's why such a number like negative roots or roots of negative numbers are imaginary. In this, minus 1, root of minus 1 is assigned as a special character called I, read as iota, that basically decides the complex number. So that's why root of minus 5 can be written as minus 1 into root 5. So this can be written as I root 5. Therefore, under root of minus 1 will be under root of minus 1 into under root of 4. Now 2 can be taken out and under root of minus 1 can be written as I. So it can be written as 2I. So keep in mind, under root of minus 4 is not 2 but it is 2I. I denotes imaginary or complex number. So such a number which are not real are called complex number. It is beyond your scope of this class. Now let us continue with this real number. We are already knowing, or we have just learned, this real number includes both rational and irrational numbers. So we have to go for rational number than irrational number. We must know the differences between rational and irrational number, how to identify a number is whether rational or irrational. There are very few basic points. What if you keep in mind, you can easily identify whether it is rational or irrational or non-real. So the definition of rational number is like this: if you have any number and if you are able to convert it, or if you are able to write it in the form of a fraction, then it is a rational number. If you cannot write that number in form of fraction, then it will not be a rational number. means even if you have integer, you can write in form of fraction. Even if you have the decimal, you can write in form of fraction. Even if it is root of certain perfect square number, then you can write in the form of fraction and it become a rational number. In this fraction, both numerator and denominator should be integer. Otherwise, it cannot be called as a fraction. So let us define the rational number. So number which can be written in the form of p by q means it is the fraction where q cannot be 0 and p and q are integers, do not have any common factor except 1. Means p and q should be co-prime, are called rational number. So what is important here? Means if you are taking any number, you have to write in the form of fraction p by q. Here q cannot be, because if q is made 0, then you are knowing that division by 0 is not possible, or any number by 0 is indeterminate or cannot be defined. That's why q cannot be 0. So this is the approach that you have to test for identify whether it is rational or not. But what numbers or which kind of numbers are commonly rational number? So it is the decimal representation of rational number are either terminating or non-terminating repeating. Means if some decimal number is given, then it must be terminating like 5.8, or if it is non-terminating, then it must be repeating like 8.323232 or 8.32 bar. This rational number could be the perfect roots also, like root of 4. So it become 2. It could be integer, maybe positive integer or negative integer. Means it could be natural number, it could be whole number, it could be integer, it could be decimal, it could be fraction, it could be perfect square. But here notable point is that if it is decimal, then it must be a repeating or terminating. Means if it is terminating, then it is okay. If non-terminating, then it shall be repeating. See how this 3 is satisfying our definition of p by q. See, 3 can be written as 3 by 1. So numerator is 3, denominator is 1. So it is in the form of p by q. Therefore, it is a rational number. Even 0. So default denominator is always 1. So it is 0 by 1. It is rational. If you take 0.25, converting into fraction by removing this decimal point to place right hand side by substituting 2 zeros in denominator ahead of 1 and simplifying it, you will get 17 by 4. Yes, it is also a fraction, therefore it is rational. If you take 8.32 bar, it can be converted into fraction. It will be 824 divided by 99. Yes, about this you have learned in class 9th. So we are not going to repeat this, how to convert it into the fraction, but we will go ahead, or we will directly use this concept. Another, if you are taking the perfect root, say under root of 4 or minus under root of 4, it will become minus 2, it will become minus of 2 by 1. Yes, it is also the ratio of two integer. If you take cube root of 125, it is 5. It is 5 by 1. So all these are rational. And those real numbers which are not falling in category of rational number are irrational number. So let us go for irrational number. So the irrational number is defined in the same manner in which a rational number is defined. So definition is like this: number which cannot be written in form of p by q, where q cannot be 0 and p and q are two integers do not having any common factor, means p and q should be co-prime, then such numbers are irrational. The decimal representation of irrational number is always non-terminating, non-repeating. That makes difference. And the radical or roots are imperfect. Say root 2, you cannot get this, or you cannot get rid of this root. That's why these are irrational. Please note that if you write this root 2 in this form, say root 2 by 1, then it is not in the form of fraction, because for the fraction both the numerator and denominator should be integer, but here root 2 is not integer, though denominator is integer. That's why root 2 cannot be a rational number. If you take the decimal like 5.373773777, it will continue, it will never end. Also please note that the value of pi, approximately we are taking this as 3.14 in decimal form and 22 by 7 in fractional form. But if we go for the exact value, it will not be like 3.14 only. It will not end. If you continue to write, the decimal place will continue forever. Your paper will end. That's why pi is irrational. The other one is exponential e. Its value is approximately taken as 2.7. Like you are using the term like e to the power x or e a square, it will be 7.2 squared. 7.2 is just approximate value. So how to prove a number as irrational? The very first is the basic definition. If you cannot write in the form of p by q, where p and q should be co-prime, then it becomes irrational. So by using the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, we come to the contradiction, and using this contradiction method, we are proving the number as irrational. And just by watching these forms like imperfect root, non-terminating, non-repeatable, and a special characteristic like pi and e, they are irrational. This is how you can quickly identify the number is. So number system, what we have learned, that can be summarized or that can be grouped together. See, it is. So a smallest set of number is your natural number. So natural number are the number which are used for counting. So you can count like I have 2 pen, 3 pen, 4 pen, or even 1 pen. But you cannot say you have -2 pen. It doesn't make any sense. That's why natural number are also called as counting number. Whole number is what? If you include 0 in the natural number, it becomes whole number. Integer, if you take the negative of this natural number along with the 0, it becomes integer. Keep in mind, 0 is always 0. It cannot be negative. If you write -0, -0 doesn't make any sense. So -0 is a wrong concept. That's why 0 is 0. So integer can be negative integer if we are taking up to -1, or positive integer if we are taking from 1 to infinity. Sometimes we are coming for the non-negative integer or non-positive integer. If you remove the positive integer from the set of integer, it becomes non-positive, and if you remove the set of negative integer from this entire set of integer, it becomes positive integer. Means 0 is included in both non-negative and non-positive integer. The higher set is rational number. So rational number includes your decimal and fraction in addition to your integers that we have already defined. The another one is irrational that we have already learned. These are imperfect root, a special character, and non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. Collectively, this rational and irrational is called a real number. What we have to learn in this chapter. There is another set of number which cannot be realized and cannot be representing on a number line, that is called complex or non-real number. So entire number system consists of real number and non-real or complex number. Now again, this real number classified into rational and irrational. Then under rational we have this set of integers. Under this set of integer we have whole number, and under this whole number we have the subset natural number. So natural number is the smallest. So we have to keep everything in mind, because the term like natural number, whole number, integer, rational number, prime number, co-prime number, composite number, these terms will be used frequently. And based on these basic terms, various questions are framed. So where we shall pay the focus or emphasis to solve the numerical problem. So the focus area for framing the questions are as follows. So questions are based on prime number, composite number, getting their factors and multipliers, then fundamental theorem of arithmetics. It is the composite number which can be written as product of their prime factors, which is unique. It is called fundamental theorem of arithmetics. Then using this we can prove a number as irrational. Then conversion of the fraction into decimal and decimal into fraction. While we are converting the fraction into decimal, then after how many places of decimal it will terminate, that can be predicted without actual division. This is also asked in question. So detail we will discuss at respective topic. And the last topic we will discuss is Euclid division lemma and Euclid division algorithm to get HCF only. Though this FTA or factors are used for getting both LCM and HCF, but Euclid division lemma can be used for getting HCF only. The other thing that can be predicted from Euclid division lemma is the form of numbers, and we can check for the divisibility also. So first topic, what is the prime number and composite number? So definition you are already aware. So prime number, any number excluding 1 divisible by 1 and itself is prime number. means you cannot get any number which can divide a prime number other than the number itself and 1. So checking the divisibility is used for identifying whether the number is prime or not. Example are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, etc. Here you are getting 3 can be divided by 1 3 times or 3 1 time. So 3 can be written as product of 3 into 1 only. Means it can be written in factor form in only one form. It is 1 multiplied by the number itself. 5 is equals to 1 into 5. There we cannot get other number. So that's why we can say prime number have only 2 factors, 1 and the number itself. Note that 0 cannot be called as a prime number because if you divide this 0 by 0, it becomes indeterminate, and for a number to be prime, a number must be able to divide by itself. Like 2 divided by 2 is 1, but 0 by 0 is indeterminate or not possible or cannot be defined. That's why 0 can never be prime. Also 1 cannot be prime because 1 have only one factor, it is 1. So both 0 and 1 are not falling in the category of prime number. So therefore prime number can be defined as positive integer greater than 1 which have only themselves and 1 as factor. Also keep in mind, for checking a number n as prime or not, you shall check for the divisibility of this n up to nearest integer closer to under root n. Like if I have to check for divisibility of say 26, then take the under root of 26. Under root 26 means it will be 5 point something. So I shall try with prime number up to 5 only. So for 26 you are already knowing it is divisible by 2, not by 3, not by 4. So it is the 2. So it is divisible by 2 means 26 is not a prime, though on dividing by 2 you will get the other factor 13 which is above the under root of 26. Okay, so this is what exercise you have to do for identifying whether the number is prime or not, or how long you shall attempt to check whether it is prime or not. So this is the tool what you must attempt to identify whether prime or not. Keep in mind 2 is the smallest prime number and it is even also. So 2 is only even number which is prime. So this is all about prime. Now opposite to this prime is composite, and based on this composite number the entire chapter is based. So composite number is what? Any number which is divisible by more than 2 factors, means it must have at least one more number or one more integer other than 1 and itself which is able to divide the given number. Then the given number will be a composite number. So the definition is like this. So number excluding 1 divisible by at least one more number other than 1 and itself. Number excluding 1 other than prime are composite. Means if you remove the set of prime number from the natural number, then it becomes composite number, but the exception is 1. So composite number are 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, all these. Keep in mind the smallest composite number is 4. See here, 4 can be written as 2 into 2 in addition to 1 into 4. So 2 is other factor. That's why 4 is composite. If we take the 6, then it can be written as 3 into 2. So 2 and 3 are the two other factor other than 1 and the number 6 itself. Therefore 6 is composite number. Similar way you can try for the other. So smallest composite number is 4. So keep in mind, composite number must have more than 2 factors. And again you have to use the technique of checking divisibility to identify whether it is composite or not. So by checking the divisibility, if it is divisible by any integer other than the number itself and 1, then it will be composite. That exercise you have to do. And this is very helpful in understanding fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So composite number is very important term, because while defining fundamental theorem of arithmetic, we will use the term composite number, and questions are based on this composite number and prime number. Even ask in your standard that you have to verify whether given number is prime number or composite number. So based on that concept, we will solve some of the question. But here keep in mind, neither 0 nor 1 is prime or composite. Means both 0 and 1 are neither prime nor composite. So you must attempt for above 1 for checking whether prime or composite. So what is the concept and what are the question framed? So till now the basic concepts what we have learned is the composite number can be written as product of more than 2 factors. Let us say n is a composite number, then n can be written as product of other factor. Let this factor be p, q, r. So n can be written as p cross q cross r. This p, q, r are the prime factors. This thing we will learn later. And the value of p, q, r must be greater than 1 but less than n, the number itself. If we are able to write a number in this form, then it will be composite number. But keep in mind, in between this p, q, r, there is no any plus or minus sign. It is only the multiplication sign. And for checking a number as composite, we shall check the condition for divisibility by any integer other than the number itself and 1, then it will be composite. So how the questions are framed? So very first question, let us check which of these are composite number. Also you have to give the explanation. Say I am going to start with 223. Whether 223 is a prime number or composite number. So here if you divide it by 2, you cannot divide 223 by 2. If you try with 3, you cannot divide it. 4, no, because it is not divisible by 2, so it cannot divisible by 4. 5, no, it is not divisible by 5. For divisible by 5, the end should be 5, or the unit place digit should be 5, which is not here. Again 6, not possible, because 2 and 3 not divisible by, not as their factor. 7, so if you divide it by 7, you will get it is not divisible by 7. Then 8, not possible. 9, not possible. 10, not possible. 11, again you go for division, it is not divisible. Or you may check the divisibility by 11, adding the even place decimal and odd place decimal taking the difference of even place decimal and odd place decimal. If it is in multiple of 11 or 0, then it is only divisible. Say here it is this 2 and this 3, add it 2 3 5 and subtract the other set, minus this 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, 3 is not in multiple of 11, so not divisible by 11. Now let us go for 13, again not divisible. Then 14, 15, 16, not divisible. Now try with 17. While dividing by 17, you will get it is divisible and the quotient will be 19. So 223 can be written as 17 into 19 in addition to earlier 1 into 223. So that's why 17 and 19 are two other factors, or this 223 is divisible by 17 and 19 in addition to 1 and the number itself. That's why it is a composite number. Similar exercise you have to do for the other question. Say for 101 you try, you will not get any number. Now coming for this third questions. For third question, the important thing is here we are getting in between there is a plus sign. So here we are getting it is of the two term or other two part. One is this, another is this. So we shall try to convert it into two factors or two bracket. Means if we are able to take something common from these two terms, which are two sides of the plus sign, then we can say it becomes product of two numbers. So see here, 991 into 2 is there, plus this 382 can be written as 2 into 191 into the 43 as it is. Now this 2 can be taken common from this first term and this second term. Taking 2 outside, it will get converted into 2 bracket. Means this 2 is now one factor and this bracket is the other factor. So now we have two factors for this expression. So it is product of two bracket, and these two bracket are integer in itself, because on simplifying this inner term of this bigger bracket, so 991 plus 191 into 43, you will get another integer. And the thing is that you need not solve this bigger bracket here. You are just getting that it is product of two integer, so it become a composite number. The similar is for the other, like fourth or maybe given as homework. Now if we consider the fourth one, 69 plus under root 81. Keep in mind, first we shall try to simplify this. Here we are getting 69 under root 81 is 9. Now here 3 can be taken common, so again it is in the form of product of two bracket. Even it becomes 3 into 26 or 3 into 2 into 13, hence it is a composite number. So this is how to identify whether a number is composite or not. See, based on this concept, questions are present in your textbook as well as in your exemplar book. If you go for question number 6 of your textbook, exercise number 1.2, you will get this question. You have to explain why 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 and 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 plus 5 are composite numbers. And they are saying it is a composite, but you have to explain why. So it consists of basically two questions. One is this one, another is this one. So let us attempt it part by part. So the first part, if we consider, here we are getting like in above question, third part, we have seen that it can be converted into two brackets, so it become a composite number. So attempt this, so apply the same concept. See, 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13. Take the 13 outside from the first term and the second term. You will get 13 into 7 into 11 plus 1. It is 11 into 1, same as 11. So here we are getting it is one number or one integer. Here it is another integer. So it becomes 13 into 78. Hence it is product of two numbers or two factors other than one and itself. So it is a composite number. Take the second part in similar way. It's 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5. Here we are getting that 5 is here, and in the second term it is here for this expression. Taking 5 out, it becomes 5 as one bracket, and the other bracket is 7 into 6. 5 we have taken out, so no need to take here. Into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 1. Hence it is product of the two. One is 5 and other integer will be this one. Hence it is the product of two integers, therefore it is composite. So you have to just do like this. No need to simplify this. If it is the bigger number, if it is a smaller number, you can simplify. Let us attempt few more. Come to your exemplar problem. Exercise 2, question number 7. The same kind of question. You have to explain why this 3 into 5 into 7 plus 7 is a composite number. Here we are getting it is the 7 which is present in this first term as well as in the second term, that is on the either side of this plus sign. Taking this 7 outside, you will get another bracket. So it is the product of 2. The first becomes 16 into 7. Therefore it is composite. So this is what the concept. So everywhere you have to apply the same thing. So if there is plus sign or minus sign or even division sign, then you shall attempt or try for the common factor. If there is common factor on the different sides of this plus or minus, then it becomes composite. If not, then it will not be composite, because if there is no any common term or common number on the different side of this plus sign, then you cannot take anything outside and you cannot convert it into the product of two factor or two bracket. Like, let us understand this problem. So explain why 13 into 17 plus 19 into 21 is not a composite number. See here, the first term is 13 into 17. The second term is 19 plus 21, and they are separated by plus sign. Here we have attempted to factorize even this 21, but still we are not getting any common factor in this first term and the second term. So nothing is common in the two terms, therefore it cannot be composite number. Means you cannot take anything common and you cannot convert this in as product of two bracket. So this way you can check for a given expression, even bigger expression, whether it is composite or prime. Now let us take a bigger number, say like 7395871. This is a big number. You have to check whether it is composite or prime. Then keep in mind it is a single number, so we shall attempt with the concept of divisibility. So try to check the divisibility, whether it is divisible by 2. No, because end is 1, so it cannot be even number. It's not divisible by 2. Now whether divisible by 3, for divisible by 3 you have to add all these digits and divide it by 3. If the addition of all these digits is divisible by 3, then this number itself will be divisible by 3. If you add this, let us attempt. 7 plus 3 10, plus 9 19, plus 5 24, plus 8 32, plus 7 39, plus 3 42, plus 1 43. Now see, 43 divided by 3 means 43 is not divisible by 3, so therefore this number will not be divisible by 3. Now for 4, again not possible because not divisible by 2. 5, no, because unit digits should be either 0 or 5. Now for 6, not possible, for that it must be divisible by both 2 and 3. Again for 7, on dividing you will get it is not divisible. Going on, lastly you will get if you divide this by 11 it becomes divisible. Or you can check for the condition of divisibility of 11 that you are knowing. Add these numbers at the even places and at the odd places. So at these odd places it is 1, it is 7, it is 5, it is 3, and at the even places it is 3, 8, 9, 7. Let us add this. 7 plus 9 16, plus 8 24, plus 3 become 27. Now let us add this 3 plus 5 8, plus 7 15, plus 1 16. Now take the difference. Earlier was 27 and this one is 16. 27 minus 16 is 11, which is means this 11 divided by 11 is 1. So this sum of the digits at even places and sum of the digits at odd places, take their difference and it is divisible by 11, then the number itself is divisible by 11. So this condition is satisfied here. So this big string is divisible by 11, so it will not be a prime, it is a composite number. The same is written here in explanation. See, based on this concept, the question was asked in previous year examinations. In 2016, Term 1 paper compiled by CBSE, this question was given. So you have to explain why this is composite number. Here what we are getting, the n digit or unit digit is 5, so obviously this big number will be divisible by 5, so it will be a composite number. So simple. So this is the concept what you have to apply in various other questions. So such two kind of questions are framed over this concept till now, and these questions are asked in your examination. Now in MCQ there is a fair chances of asking this, and AECS school examinations they have asked such questions even last year or even. Based on this concept you have to do this exercise and these questions, total 6 questions as homework. Apply the concept what we have discussed. If you are not able to solve, then we will solve it in next session. So see here, you have to apply the same concept in first question. Second question, see the second question was asked in year 2015 as well as in 2017. Now in question number 3, say here it is the 2, one is x, another one is y. So you have to check for the composite or prime for both x, then for y, then adding the two. Keep in mind, while adding you need not simplify it, but you shall try to get something or some bracket common. If it is coming common, then you can say it become composite. The other part is also for division, you will get it. What is the smallest composite number and the smallest prime number? If you have learned previous topic carefully, we have discussed there the smallest composite number and the smallest prime number. You get the answer. Now one more definition it is asked. Number having non-terminating, non-repeating decimal is known as, you have to write whether it is rational, irrational, real or irreal, or non-real or complex. What is this? Then you have to identify among these number as rational and irrational. So whatever the concept we have learned, means the definition of rational and irrational we have learned, applying those definition you can identify which of these are rational and which of these are irrational. So this is the homework you please do. See, the hint is given to a selected question, the third one. So you are getting for x again the 2 term, y the 2 term, so composite, again x minus y, you are getting this bracket itself become common, so it is again product of 2. Then again for x plus y the product of 2, so all these are composite. Place. So this was all about this session. In succeeding session we will go ahead of this topic, a topic like factors and multiplier, then fundamental theorem of arithmetic, and how to calculate LCM and HCF. All those things we will discuss in next class. Hope you might have. So thanks a lot.